It's one of the reasons your content really picked up is you, through comedy, said things that people wanted to say but were deathly afraid to, or even mildly uncomfortable to.
That was the formula.
Yeah.
Just being a voice for what people felt and wanted to say, but either couldn't or didn't have the platform. So you just become the voice of the people.
Yeah, it was wild to see how much growth you had. Like, you gained millions of followers during this time period.
Yeah.
In a time where you're literally fighting the algorithm, because, like, again, even my little Trump election thing, like, the algorithm doesn't like it. So somehow, like, you caught so much word of mouth growth that you were able to grow even at the time period when they were trying to suppress the most.
Yeah. A lot of people like ask me about that, and there's some ingredients like how the growth happened, and primarily like one, be true to myself. Two, like if my truth is that I voice is what other people want to voice, then you become a representative to them, and they want to listen and spread. But then you look at, well, how did so much growth happen when the literal platforms I was on were treating me like I'm an enemy? And also, how was I not deplatformed?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think one of the ingredients was there was some grace of God. I think there was just support from God, and like, this is just meant to be. So there's going to be some protections, and also realizing I'm a comedian. So I'm not out there like a Dr. Robert Malone saying things literally and then cool, easy to deplatform that. A lot of times I'm saying things satirically. So like what I'm saying, well, that just sounds like he's, AI reading the words. He's just saying the approved narrative. That's great. So I think being a comedian, being a satirist, and also using metaphors and analogies to say what I knew are the hot button topics were some of the ingredients, along with probably grace from God.
Like, I have two thoughts that are very scary to me here, things that I'm afraid of. I think that we have become so jaded to the incentive structure of, pharmaceuticals paying for our media, then getting to say what is, final editing, basically approval on what's yes or no on what comes out through our mainstream media organizations, plus the government working in collusion there, that like we've become jaded to the idea that technology in the form of pharmaceuticals could actually be beneficial, or that we will trust what stats we see from the government of what could be bad. Like, I think they played such a bad card here. They overblew the dangers of COVID so hard that we're actually going to lose a lot of people on the next, like any next illness that goes through, because like they might think it's the same situation. So like if the Italy data came out that we originally saw that caused the fear originally, that then was co-opted and made billions of dollars for people, there was a 9% mortality rate versus like 0.2, right? Like, so like that would have been a very different situation. We treated it as if it was like that, and now we have no faith.
Yeah.
So like what happens if we have one that is 9%, or even like Spanish flu level or something? And it's just like I worry that, how do we think critically as individuals with data that appears and not like they fucked us once, not gonna let them fuck us again? Or if they're fucking us again, it's the same thing. Like, that's this tension I'm holding internally.
Yeah. So if there is a serious one, like you said, I'll probably be the first one to die because I'm so jaded. I inherently don't trust what they say, even though 100% of what they say isn't lies. To your point, it's great to like hold tension. Like, how do I determine? So yeah, like there could be bodies getting vaporized in front of me and I'll be like, I don't trust, and just walk into the cloud of viruses and down I go.
Yeah.
Because it's unfortunate, but it is, to a lot of us, it seems like a boy who cried wolf situation. There were no real wolves. There were squirrels.
With wolf masks.
Yeah, but what if there is a real wolf?
Yeah.
Sir, but my hope is at least people that I've learned to call trusted authorities, not CNN, not Fauci, not the NIH or the WHO, but like a Dr. Robert Malone, Peter Corey, Dr. Peter McCullough, Bobby Kennedy. My hope is that they would recognize through their medical knowledge and their research, their ability to assimilate data. My hope is that they would recognize this is a big one. And then we hear it from them they've earned my trust. So that's my hope of like and by the way, hopefully there's no wolves coming in our
yeah.
lifetime in viral senses. But if there are, because it's not impossible.
Yeah. And we're generating them.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's make that in a lab.
yeah, exactly.
That's a kill everybody virus. We should probably make that.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's my hope of how we could actually be taking something seriously.
Yeah. So generally my thesis on media and what's going on right now in the world is that we need to have a different business model of media, because as long as advertising is the business model of media, which is, we will never have the media serve us. They'll be serving a third party, and we will be what's being sold. And as long as that's reality, we will continue to really struggle with a good sense making apparatus. And like, you've felt this, when people try to cancel it, they go after advertisers because they want you to not be able to make money, and advertisers have influence. So that's my general thesis. I can go deep into that, but people are probably over that. One thing I do find very interesting right now, and we're a bit early in it, but I feel like you and when we're working together, I'm starting to see it happen a lot more, is there is a pendulum swing now. Yeah. You see like Black Rifle Coffee, you see all these companies that are actually like, I am going to sponsor comedians because I can see the populace is going to buy shit that if we orient around people who tell the truth or at least believe what they're saying, if we start to support people who support freedom of speech. Like, they're like realizing there's no more money over here. They're starting to see there's more money over here. Yeah. And that does bring me a little bit more faith that, if another thing happens, that it'll be a lot harder to get, Robert Malone kicked off of Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think I see that shift as well in the companies and where they spend their advertising dollars. I mean, sounds trite, but it's true. Once you go woke, you go broke. Mm-hmm. And back 4 years ago, it seemed like the majority of the people were subscribing to the wokeness and therefore advertising dollars put into those shows because that's where people's attention is. And then now look at what are the numbers of CNN. A lot of my videos get better numbers than CNN. Yeah. Then you look at Joe Rogan. He is not woke at all. He's telling dangerous truths and having really non-narrative based people on his show. 13 million listens and views per episode. If you just imagine like an advertiser doesn't care about principles, it's cool when they do. But if you imagine they don't, they can see like, oh, now it's actually good for business to put money in these people that 4 years ago, they were too hot to touch. They were too dangerous. So in a business sense, it logically checks out why advertisers are going towards kind of non-mainstream, non-narrative perspectives.